My beloved child, a decision has just been made behind the scenes, and almost nobody knows about it yet. Your soulmate reached a moment where they could no longer ignore what their heart had been trying to tell them. For a long time, they tried to stay focused on everything except their feelings for you. They convinced themselves that life would be simpler if they stayed on the path everyone expected them to follow. But something changed. A quiet realization entered their heart, and once it arrived, it refused to leave. Don't skip, because this is where everything begins to shift. The choice they made was unexpected, even to them. It was not based on logic. It was not based on pressure. It was based on a feeling that kept growing stronger every day. Something huge is waiting for you, because this choice is already creating changes that neither of you can fully see yet. A surprising truth is that your soulmate has been thinking about you far more than anyone realizes. Certain memories keep returning to them at the most unexpected moments. A song, a place, a random conversation, somehow everything seems to bring them back to thoughts of you. They have tried to understand why this keeps happening, but every answer leads to the same place. Their connection with you feels different. It feels important. Stay till the end, because the choice they recently made came after a period of deep reflection. They finally stopped asking themselves how others would react and started asking what their own heart truly wanted. The answer surprised them. Instead of moving away from these feelings, they chose to face them honestly. Now there is a sense that a new chapter is quietly approaching. Your soulmate may not know exactly how everything will unfold, but they know they cannot keep pretending that you do not matter. That is the secret behind this unexpected decision. It was not just a choice about their future, it was a choice about who they want in that future. Don't skip, because this is only the beginning of the story. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation explains why this decision happened now instead of months ago. The timing is not random. There is a reason everything is starting to move at this exact moment, and that reason may be much closer to you than you think. My beloved child, the reason this decision happened now is far more surprising than your soulmate expected. For months, maybe even longer, they kept pushing certain feelings aside. They believed there would always be more time to think about them later. More time to figure things out. More time to decide what truly mattered. But recently, something inside them shifted. They suddenly realized that waiting was no longer giving them clarity, it was only creating distance between what they felt and what they were actually living. Don't skip, because this realization became impossible for them to ignore. For the first time, they started asking themselves a powerful question. What if the person I keep thinking about is meant to be a bigger part of my future than I ever admitted? That question changed everything. What happened next was something nobody around them could see. On the outside, they looked the same. They continued with daily life. They smiled. They handled responsibilities. They acted as though nothing had changed. But inside, an entirely different conversation was taking place. They began replaying moments connected to you. They started noticing details they once overlooked. Suddenly, memories that seemed ordinary before carried a completely different meaning. Stay till the end, because this is where the story becomes even more powerful. The more they reflected, the more they realized that their strongest emotions always led back to the same person, you. Something huge is waiting for you. What shocked them most was not the feeling itself. It was how long they had been trying to hide that feeling from themselves. Now your soulmate stands in a place they have never stood before. The choice has been made, but the full impact of that choice is still unfolding. There is excitement mixed with uncertainty. Hope mixed with questions. Yet one thing has become clear in their heart: they no longer want fear making decisions for them. They no longer want missed opportunities becoming future regrets. Don't skip, because the next part reveals the hidden sign that convinced them they could not keep ignoring this connection any longer. It was a moment so unexpected, so personal, that it forced them to see the truth in a completely different way. And once they saw it, there was no going back. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation may explain why everything suddenly feels closer than ever before. My beloved child, the sign that changed everything did not arrive with noise or drama. It appeared during a simple moment when your soulmate least expected it. They were going about their day, focused on ordinary things, when a thought of you suddenly appeared with unusual strength. It was different from all the other times. This time, the feeling stayed. It refused to fade. The more they tried to focus on something else, the more their heart returned to you. Don't skip, because this was the moment they began to understand that what they felt was not temporary. Something huge is waiting for you. For the first time, they stopped fighting the connection and allowed themselves to ask what it truly meant. The answer did not come immediately, but the feeling itself was powerful enough to change their perspective forever. As the days passed, your soulmate started noticing a pattern. Every time they imagined the future, your presence somehow appeared within it. They could no longer pretend it was a coincidence. Even when they tried to picture different paths, their heart kept leading them back to the same destination. This realization brought both excitement and nervousness. Stay till the end, because what happened next surprised them even more. Instead of feeling trapped by these emotions, they felt relieved. It was as though they had finally stopped running from a truth that had been waiting patiently for them to accept. The walls they built around their heart began to weaken, and the fears that once seemed so powerful started losing their hold. Little by little, they became more certain that this connection deserves a chance to be understood rather than ignored. Now there is a growing sense of anticipation around them. They may not speak about it openly, and they may still be figuring out their next steps, but deep inside they know something important has changed. The decision they made is no longer just an idea, it has become part of the direction they want their life to take. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The most surprising part is that they are beginning to believe this connection entered their life for a reason. That belief is becoming stronger every day. And in the next chapter of this story, you will discover the secret realization that made them understand why meeting you was never an accident. What they uncovered shook them far more than they ever expected. My beloved child, the realization that shook your soulmate was not about the past, it was about the future. One day, while thinking about everything that had happened, they suddenly understood something they had never fully seen before. Every important lesson, every challenge, every unexpected turn seemed to be pointing them toward a deeper understanding of what truly matters. And somehow, your presence was connected to that understanding. Don't skip, because this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Instead of asking why they kept thinking about you, they started asking why life kept bringing them back to thoughts of you. The difference between those two questions changed everything. Something huge is waiting for you. The more they reflected, the more they felt that your connection was not random. It carried a meaning they could no longer ignore. As this realization grew stronger, your soulmate began seeing certain situations differently. Things that once seemed important started losing their importance. Things they once overlooked suddenly became valuable. They found themselves paying more attention to what their heart was saying instead of what others expected. Stay till the end, because an even bigger revelation followed. They realized that some of their biggest fears had been standing between them and genuine happiness. Fear of uncertainty. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of making the wrong choice. Yet every time those fears appeared, one thought remained stronger than all of them, the thought of what could happen if they never gave this connection a real chance. That thought stayed with them. It followed them through quiet moments and busy days alike. And slowly, it became impossible to ignore. Now your soulmate is moving through a period of transformation that very few people know about. On the surface, everything may appear normal, but inside, major changes are taking place. Their confidence is growing. Their understanding is deepening. And most importantly, their willingness to follow their heart is becoming stronger than their fears. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. What they are beginning to realize next may be the most powerful truth of all. A truth that explains why this connection has remained in their thoughts despite every distraction and every attempt to move on. The next revelation will uncover what finally convinced them that some people enter your life for a reason that cannot be explained away, no matter how hard you try. My beloved child, what finally convinced your soulmate was not one single event. It was the accumulation of countless small moments that all pointed in the same direction. Every time they tried to move their focus elsewhere, something reminded them of you. Every time they convinced themselves they were overthinking, another unexpected memory appeared. At first, they dismissed these moments as coincidence. But after seeing the same pattern repeat again and again, they could no longer ignore what was happening. Don't skip, because this is where their understanding reached a completely new level. They began to realize that some connections do not fade simply because time passes. Some connections remain because they carry unfinished meaning. Something huge is waiting for you. The more they reflected on everything, the more they understood that you had left a deeper impact on their heart than they had ever admitted. What surprised them most was how different they felt compared to before. There was a time when they believed answers would come from avoiding difficult emotions. Now they understand that answers often appear when you finally face those emotions honestly. Stay till the end, because an important shift has already begun. Your soulmate is no longer looking at this connection through the lens of fear. They are starting to look at it through the lens of possibility. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, they are wondering what could go right. That change may sound small, but it is powerful. It changes the way they think. It changes the way they see the future. And it changes the choices they are preparing to make. For someone who spent so much time holding back, this new perspective feels almost unbelievable. Now there is a growing sense that a major chapter is approaching. Your soulmate may still be putting pieces together, but deep inside they know they are not the same person they were before this realization. Their heart has become more honest. Their intentions have become clearer. And the choice they made continues to shape everything that follows. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The next part reveals the hidden thought they have been unable to escape lately, the thought that keeps returning during quiet moments and makes them wonder whether the future they once imagined is about to change completely. And when that thought finally becomes clear, it could explain why this story is moving toward a turning point nobody expected. My beloved child, the thought your soulmate cannot escape is surprisingly simple, yet it carries enormous weight. It appears during quiet moments when there are no distractions left. It appears when they are alone with their own heart. The thought is this: what if I am closer to something important than I realize? That question has been following them everywhere. Don't skip, because this question has started changing the way they see everything around them. For the first time in a long time, they are allowing themselves to imagine possibilities they once pushed away. They are allowing themselves to believe that not every meaningful connection is meant to be forgotten. Something huge is waiting for you. The more they sit with this feeling, the more they sense that a significant chapter is approaching, even if they cannot yet see the entire picture. What makes this even more powerful is that your soulmate is beginning to notice how much their perspective has changed. Months ago, they were focused on reasons to stay distant from their feelings. Now they find themselves searching for reasons to understand those feelings better. Stay till the end, because this shift is far bigger than it appears. They are no longer asking whether you matter. That answer has already become clear to them. Instead, they are asking what this connection is trying to teach them and where it might be leading. Every time they ask that question, the same sense of curiosity returns. The same feeling of anticipation returns. It is as though their heart already knows there is more to this story than what has been revealed so far. That realization has created a quiet excitement they cannot easily explain to anyone else. Now your soulmate stands on the edge of another breakthrough. They may not speak about it openly, but deep within, they feel something building. They feel as though pieces that once seemed unrelated are beginning to connect. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The next revelation is the one they never expected to discover. It is a truth that arrived slowly, then all at once, a truth that made them realize why thoughts of you continue returning no matter how busy life becomes. Once this realization fully settles into their heart, it may influence the next choice they make. And that choice could become one of the most important decisions in this entire journey. My beloved child, the truth your soulmate never expected to discover is that no matter how far they tried to move their attention, their heart kept returning to the same place. At first, they thought it was temporary. Then they thought it was curiosity. Later, they told themselves it was simply a memory that would eventually fade. But none of those explanations lasted. Don't skip, because this realization arrived with a level of clarity they could no longer deny. They finally understood that the reason thoughts of you kept returning was not because they were holding on to the past. It was because a part of them still felt connected to a future they had not yet explored. Something huge is waiting for you. That understanding changed the way they looked at everything. Suddenly, what once seemed confusing began making sense. As this awareness grew stronger, your soulmate started paying closer attention to their own instincts. They noticed that whenever they imagined walking away completely, something inside them felt incomplete. Yet whenever they imagined moving toward understanding this connection, a strange sense of peace appeared. Stay till the end, because this is one of the biggest clues in the entire story. For a long time, they searched for certainty in external situations, but now they are discovering certainty within themselves. They are realizing that some answers cannot be forced and some feelings cannot be explained away. The more honest they become, the more obvious the truth appears. You occupy a space in their heart that nobody else has been able to replace. That realization did not arrive overnight. It was built through countless moments, reflections, and emotions that slowly revealed what had been hidden all along. Now your soulmate feels as though they are approaching a crossroads that will require courage. They know they cannot continue pretending that nothing has changed. They know the decision they made earlier has already set new events into motion. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The next chapter reveals the unexpected moment that made them realize time may be more important than they once believed. A sudden insight caused them to understand that opportunities do not remain open forever and that some connections deserve attention before they become missed chances. That realization created a sense of urgency they had never felt before. And because of that, they are beginning to think very differently about what comes next and about the role you may play in the future they are now starting to imagine.